Dorothy some love on the chat, as well as she reminded us about going home to ourselves, which is what it's all about. It's not about going to the far country. It's about coming into ourselves through our spiritual technologies, that we become awake and aware of all of that which we would call the good, the all good that's within us, and that is our very life and being. As you've already heard from the reading today, our theme is give possibility a chance for a change. And of course, when we speak about that, we have already been reminded that oftentimes the mind goes barreling into the consciousness of obstacles and hindrances and obstructions with phrases such as, that kind of good has never happened for me, I'm too old, I'm too young, it always happens for other people, it's impossible to me. And in our teaching, we're making ourselves available to what is called possibility thinking. That is opening ourselves up, that the fullness of the bright light of infinite spirit can begin to articulate itself, and we begin to consider that all things are possible with God consciousness. We're going to give possibility a chance for a change. Now, I'll always remember at a time in the historical experience of Agape International Spiritual Center, I always remember some very salient moments that we went through, but I remember one in particular in which we were moving from Santa Monica to Culver City. At this particular time, we were meeting in hotel rooms, we were paying rent on the building, and at Buckingham, we were paying for construction, and all of this was going on as the money was diminishing faster than it was coming in. And we had a deadline in order to complete the construction of this particular sanctuary and office spaces, etc., or we would lose the conditional permit, because the politics at that particular time was trying to keep a spiritual community out of being in this warehouse, as we called it. So I can remember there was dire thought moving through the consciousness of many people. The impossibility thinking had taken over for a while, and it did look impossible to raise enough money to complete the project in the time period that was given to us by the city. So on a Saturday afternoon, I called the Board of Trustees together along with the contractor and some of his workers and some of the key members of the ministry, and we sat in a circle, and I asked them one question. I said, is it possible for us to raise enough money to complete this task before that particular date? And people were saying, well, it's not really probable, I don't know, there was a lot of iffies there. And I said, no, I'm asking you one question. Is it possible? And we went around the circle, and I had Jerry Russell. He was a rather large guy, fit but large. And I had him sit in the chair in front of the door of my office so nobody could leave. And we went around the circle, and I said to each person, is it possible? Don't hem and haw, just tell me, is it possible? And one by one, as we went around the circle, they all said, yes, it's possible. I don't think we can do it. No, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you how to do it. I'm asking you, is it possible? So one by one, we got an agreement. Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. I said, all that I want you to do is for the next few days, hang in the space of it's possible. It's all I want. Just be in the realm of possibility. So that was a Saturday. Tuesday morning, we get a call from the bank that we had applied for a loan of a few $100,000. And what had occurred was one of the owners of the bank looked over the shoulder of an individual that had our file and said, what are you working on? And they said, well, there's this new church that is asking for $300,000, but they don't have any collateral and blah, blah, blah. And the owner said, who is that? Is that Beckwith? And the guy said, yes. He said, give him the money. He said, but I don't have any collateral. He said, is that Beckwith? He said, yes, give them the money. So by Tuesday, we had the money. The contractor called and said he was so moved by that meeting on Saturday, he was going to double up the workers to work during the day and in the evening, and he was going to pay for it out of his own pocket because he felt assured that we would raise the money in order to pay him. So within a couple of days, the money flowed in, the workers flowed in, and we completed that particular office space and sanctuary. It was a little rough. It wasn't painted. But we completed all of that in due time in order to maintain our conditional use permit. All that we were asking was to stay in possibility thinking for a change. Now, there's two levels of that change. I'm saying, one, stay in possibility thinking for a change. In other words, your mind may be running the racket of what's not possible in your life. It's never been done before in your life. It's never been done in your family. Your hereditary patterns say it can't be done. Nobody's ever healed from this. All the blockages and hindrances that go through. You may be inundated by the world, the gravity of the worldly thinking about what can't be done in one's life. I'm saying give possibility a chance for a change. And then give possibility a chance for a change, for a transformation. Because what happened in that body of individuals that were sitting in that circle that gave possibility of chance, something happened in the frequency of the thinking, and the body of consciousness leaned into all things are possible. We don't have to know how it's going to happen. We don't have to know who it's going to happen through. We don't have to know all the minutia of that which is going to take place. We just have to stand in the feeling tone of possibility, proclaim possibility, feel possibility, walk in the vibration of possibility, try possibility for a change, and there will be a change of consciousness. You'll begin to walk in that dynamic feeling tone, and that will be your go-to place whenever the mind starts to run its racket about what hasn't been done, what can't be done, what has never been done before. You look around at all the things that you now take for granted in your life. At some point, they did not exist. They had not been done before. No one had invented them before. No one had caught the feeling tone and the idea of it before. And now, it's many things that you take for granted are commonplace because someone leaned into the vibrational frequency of possibility, consciousness. With God consciousness, all things are possible. Therefore, as the topic would indicate in substance, that the blind can see with possibility. Now, you've heard me say this in the particular writing, that the mind, of course, is oftentimes inundated with obstacles, hindrances, obstructions, what's never been done before, historical points of view of what can't be done, what's never been done. And that is why if the mindscape is blind to possibility, then the eyes can't see opportunity. Remember, as I have been teaching for a number of years, and those of you who have taken the life visioning course with Reverend Coco from time to time, you know that you have eyes, you see, you have eyes because you see, and you have ears because you hear. There's a consciousness that precedes everything, and that mindscape, if it is in the realm of possibility, then your eyes will begin to see opportunities, potential everywhere. But if the mind is blocked, then you can't see opportunities that might be all around you. Matter of fact, not might. You're surrounded by infinite potential. You're surrounded by infinite possibility. You're surrounded by it. But you have to live in that dynamic. So in terms of moving into that consciousness, one of the first things you have to be aware of, what you have experienced in your life is not your identity. Until you wake up, you have a tendency to think that everything that is quote-unquote happened to you, you take it as identity. You take it as, this is who I am. This happened to me when I was 6. This happened to me when I was this age. This happened to me. Somebody said this about me. And your limited self takes that as identity. That, what you have experienced in the experiential realm, is not identity. It's passing through awareness. And through meditation and prayer, you're able to extract yourself from that being a part of your identity, and you're able to extract the lesson from the experience without identifying it as your being. It is something that passed through, and then you're able to glean all of that lesson and the perceptions that you had, and the perceptions and the filaments of thought forms that you may have taken in and upon yourself that continue to proliferate and become more and more and more of your experience. You can say, that's not me. That is something that happened. That was an experience, but that's not who I am. Now, it's easy for me to say that. It's even easy for you to believe it. However, with spiritual technology, you lift yourself out of identification with experience as identity, and it becomes experience as lesson, experience as school, and some of you experience as university, experience as intense seminar, you say, but it changes the fabric of how you look at life. That's number one. Number two is, there's a cost that we have to pay. There's a cost that we have to pay to expand our awareness. And that cost is you have to give up the idea of what you should have been or what you were expected to be. People live in that dynamic all the time. You'll hear people's conversation. Oh, when I was younger, I should have made this decision. I should have done this. I should have done that. That is the wake of despair pulling you into a limited point of view. The price of your transformation is that you have to give up the idea of what you thought you should have been or what you were expected to be. No, you are here, you are now. You are here, you are now. And all that your ego is thinking that you should have been or could have been or expected to be is just a waste of time. It's just a spiraling into time and the misuse of your mind. You start right here and right now. I'm full to overflowing with the abundance of the universe. I'm full to overflowing with infinite good. I'm full to overflowing with the divine intelligence that's moving through me in ways beyond my wildest imaginings. All that I am is God. I may not be all that God is, but all that I am is God, and I'm becoming more and more of the God presence because I'm starting right here and right now. And nothing can take my mind. I don't give any authority to anything other than the power and the presence and the love of God, which is saying in substance, there's infinite potential. Stay in the realm of possibility. And then you'll discover something. You discover this. You're not really praying to God. Do you realize that when you make a choice to love, compassion, kindness, generosity, creativity, do you realize that that's God? That's God. It's not there. That when you choose to love, when you choose kindness over a snide comment about somebody, when you choose compassion, that second that energy starts to flow through, that's God. It's not oh God, please. No, it's God flowing through me, which means that second there is an alignment. You have come out of time and space. You've come out of old-time religiosity that's putting God in the future. You've now come into alignment with the presence of God, and in that dynamic, there is an overflow of God consciousness that begins to flow through you because you're in alignment. And now you can say, let there be light. Let there be love, let there be beauty, because it's flowing through you. There's a connection that's happening, you see. I can remember, this came up at the International Yoga Festival where I had an opportunity to do a keynote address there. And one of the things that I spoke to was that as we were going through what we've all come through, the great lockdown of healthy people, that the question that I would ask is, one of the questions that I would ask is, how do you stay in love with individuals that may not agree with you? This is a very powerful question. Because as you can see, the uninitiated have a tendency, and everybody gets caught up in this, in the polarization of right and wrong, and they and them. And as we were speaking about this, and Tommy Rosen, the great yoga practitioner and individual that works with individuals with addictions, after I spoke, asked this question: as a yogic community, as a community that says that we believe in unity and oneness, union with the presence of God, how did we do? You know, how do we stay in love with those that we disagree with or disagree with us? One. And two, going through the experience, how did we do? Were we able to hold the frequency of love? Or did we become caught up in the polarization, caught up in the distancing, caught up in the separation? Now, that's not to bring shame or guilt. That's to bring awareness. Because, remember, we're not praying to, we're praying from. When there's love, kindness, compassion, generosity, creativity, we're in the flow of the presence of God. And now possibility can open up. Dialogue, possibility can open up. Forgiveness, possibility can open up. The release of resentment, animosity. The possibility can open up. Oh, creative urges can begin to flow through us because we're not blocking the presence of God. And as I was saying, like in the way of meditation service, individuals are unconsciously placing enlightenment, God consciousness way in the future. They're struggling to one day be free. But the moment you love to the best of your ability, in that nanosecond, you're free. In the moment, that second right there, that nanosecond right there, when compassion is emerging through you, and you may not agree with somebody, you may not like somebody, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about like on a personality level, we're talking about love on a soul level. At that second, you're in alignment with the presence of God. Right there. So in that second, the enlightened self is running the show. You're enlightened. You've heard me teach this over the years, that all of us are enlightened. All that we're doing is releasing the mud from our perception. We're not trying to, what does it say in Scripture? Who by taking thought can add 1 cubit to their stature. You can improve yourself. All improvement is the elimination of superstition, false thoughts, false beliefs, limited perceptions. All what masquerades as improvement is the elimination of that which is hindering the enlightened self, the light that lights up every individual that comes to the planet. And so we ask ourselves, how do we stay in love? You ask that question, and the progressive universe, which is the outpicturing of the heart mind of the infinite that birthed through the Big Bang, the cosmos and the multidimensional universes, the galaxies, the solar systems, living biology, all of that will bring into your sphere how you can love more, how you can have more kindness, patience, generosity, even when the limited self would fight against it. The limited self has to be right. The personality self, forged by time and experience, has to be right. Someone has to be wrong. But the unlimited self, your real self, remember, this is not like way in the future. Every time you come into alignment, the here and now, that little smile comes on your face. You start to feel your infinite nature. You live an unprecedented day that becomes an unprecedented week, month, year, life. You become an unprecedented being, building. Your life is being built upon your alignment with the presence. So you go beyond merely believing in God to being in alignment with truth. Alignment and believing are two different things. Believing will help you to start a practice. The practice will give you insight so that you can be in alignment. And then you're an evolutionary revolutionary. This is a revolution. Revolutions are messy. So the moment you start to vibrate higher and higher with your dynamic intentionality, you're involved in a revolution. As Scripture would say, there becomes a war between the flesh and the spirit. And the limited self and the personality self is holding on to its identity. Oh, this is what happened to me. This is what they said. This is what they did. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. There's a war between the personality self and the limited self, which is just all about love. We're not talking about syrupy romanticism, sentimentality. We're talking about the most powerful force in the universe. And there's a dissolution of the life that's been created by personality. Not all bad, not all good. It's a revolution. Wow. Distillation. Elimination, chemicalization. And then there comes a moment. Behold, I make all things new. Behold, 50.1% of your subconscious awareness is now embracing possibility thinking. It's now embracing, I am that. It's now embracing, I'm not just the son or daughter of my parents, my biological parents. I'm not just the sum total of the experiences in the human dimension. I'm born from the eternal, shot from love, intelligence, and beauty, and it is penetrating, becoming so integrated in my humanness. There's an embodiment, and my human incarnation becomes a vehicle for the transcendent that becomes imminent through my thought, my word, and my deed. So you'll be able to say like Jesus, when you see me, you see the presence of God that sent me. You feel the presence of God that's sending me moment by moment by moment. Not taking anything away from God. As it states there in the Holy Writ, with the mind in me that was in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Woo! Woo, don't run away. We're not blaspheming God. We're just saying your life, what else could it be but the presence of God? Since there's only one life, one power, one presence, an intelligence, a love, and a beauty, that's your life. And so what are we doing? This month, we're exploring possibility thinking. Give possibility a chance for a change. Become, moment by moment, used to being in the realm of possibility. Now again, you're breaking a habit. Because the habit might be fear, doubt, worry, anxiety. Fear, doubt, worry, anxiety. And then the mind has all the reasons why you should be in fear and in doubt and in worry. It'll show you all kinds of things. And those particular experiences are actually really happening in the world. But give possibility a chance for a change. What if everything is working together for my good? I just can't see it right now. What if life is really for me, but I just can't feel it right now? What if, in this precise instant, all of my needs are met, but it just doesn't look like it? Give possibility a chance for a change, a real transformation in your life. Moment by moment. Fall, get back up. Fall, get back up. Fall, get back up. Keep getting up. And then you will see that the mind that sees possibility, your eyes will see opportunities that you couldn't see before. And then you'll kind of look back and you'll see that all along the way, there was something working in your life to bring you to the moment of what you would call a demonstration or a manifestation of more good than you could possibly imagine. Let the weak say, I am strong. You see. Just say it. I am strong. I'm full of wonder and all. Oh my God, there's so much beauty flowing through me. Love is taking over my life. Abundance and opulence is the order of my day. Everything is working together for my good. I can remember back in the 70s, Dr. Daniel L. Morgan used to bring up the statement, and every day and every way I'm getting better and better and better. He had us, you remember that? He had us do that on a regular basis, and now our good friend, the Prince E.A., he's making that popular again on his Instagram page. You know, every day and every way I'm getting better and better and better. You know, you have to find something that you say to yourself on a regular basis that penetrates your subconscious mind. You know the Tetris effect. The Tetris effect simply says that whatever the first thing you read in the morning and the last thing you read at night goes into your subconscious. So before you go to bed at night, just say to yourself, everything is working together for my good. Every day and every way I'm getting better and better and better. All of my needs are met. When you wake up in the morning, say to yourself, everything is working together for my good. Every day I'm getting better and better and better. Life is for me, nothing is against me. Read it, say it, say it, say it, read it, say it, read it, say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. Because when you wake up in the morning, you're in the hypnagogic state. That's that space right between sleep and awake in which you can impress the subconscious mind because the conscious mind hasn't fully taken over. And so when you're sleepy, you just remember to say, all of my needs are met. I live in great possibilities of more good than I can imagine. And when you're falling asleep, everything is working together for my good. I fly on the wings of the Holy Spirit, even as the body is resting. And then your subconscious mind will take that in. And just as you did not wake up today and have to kickstart your heart to get going because subconsciously you believe more in life than death right now, it'll start to take over your life. And you'll live in the possibility that's beyond what you can do. We're not saying won't take action in your life, but it will be compelling right action from the consciousness of connection, not the consciousness of anxiety, but the consciousness of connection to the presence that's nearer than your hands and feet and closer than your breathing, nearer than your neck vein, as our Muslim brothers would say. Everywhere is the presence. Oh my God, life is good. I tell you, it is. I know this to be the truth. And I want you to come into this frequency and vibration, that your life will be changed for the better forever, beginning with this moment. Give possibility a chance for a real, meaningful change that we call transformation, transcending the present formation of our life based upon limited perceptions. Possibility opens up a whole new world. Woo! I see a whole new world. I see a whole new world. I see it. Great possibility. I see it. Whole new world. It's real. Don't be fooled by circumstances. world is emerging. The whole planet is moving through a whole nother phase of energetic vibrational frequency. You want to match the frequency, but you have to love to the best of your ability to be in alignment with this new frequency. Woo-wee. Come with me right now into the upper room. Let me just tell you one other thing. You cannot take your dirty laundry into the upper room. It's an impossibility. You can't take it there. You can't take your judgment and resentments and your animosity, your self-loathing, your self-hate. You can't take that into the upper room. That's a frequency that it won't be allowed. When you go, you have to go into the upper room. You got to let go of everything that's unlike it. You can't stay the same and change the world or your circumstances. You can't take your dirty laundry into the upper room. You got to clean it. To clean your soul. And you may be unused to it. Okay, I got to stop. Come with me right now into the upper room. Let go of the laundry. Let go of the woulda, shouldas, couldas. Let go of what you think where you think you should be at this time in your life. Forget it. Life is eternal. Let go of what you were expected to be at this time in your life. Forget about all that. That's a wake of destruction in the past. You're here right now, listening to this message. Come into the upper room through gratitude right now. Thanksgiving, dynamic appreciation. Oh, I'm alive. I exist. The possibility for existence. Oh, I'm so grateful that I exist. Oh, yes, there are challenges. Yes, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I exist. I'm so grateful that I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm aware. I'm so grateful that I'm more alive and awake and aware than I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago. I'm so grateful. So grateful. And in this consciousness of gratitude, we give thanks for our ability to recognize this presence that is everywhere. God is everywhere. I'm looking for God. So I can't help but see God in the light bulb. I see the electricity that's invisible but reveals itself through the luminosity. I see the life of God pushing itself into expression through a blade of grass growing through cement. I see the life of God becoming what is called a healing for individuals, a revelation of wholeness. I see the life of God in art and the beauty and sacred sound and music and tonal qualities and individuals hugging each other and looking into each other's eyes and seeing the presence of God. I see God everywhere. Even in what some would call ugliness, there is an order everywhere. Garbage will transmute itself and become fertilizer for the next level of life to grow. And so we stop in this moment of gratitude and recognition. We feel a great oneing. We're one with the presence. We're one with God. We're one with God. We're one with God. We're one with God. We can say it boldly, I am. That's it. I am. Everything else is commentary. I am one with the power, the presence, the love, and the intelligence of God. And from this consciousness of oneness, I dare to speak the word for each and every one of us that moksha, spiritual liberation, divine freedom is the order of the day for each and every one of us. We become free from the perception of our limited self and spring into possibility. I speak the word that divine health and wholeness, well-being reigns supreme in every area of our life where our body temples are concerned. They're filaments of life. Every organ, filaments of light, every organ, action, function of our body temple is made every whit whole, coming under the aegis of the celestial body. We give ourselves permission to be whole, transcending diagnostic perceptions. We're free to let the body heal itself right now. The mental body is becoming purified. The psychological body is becoming in harmony with our spiritual body. Our emotional body is becoming purified. The body of our affairs are now beginning to reflect and to reveal the order of the cosmos. And something wonderful is happening. Oh, wherever you are on the planet, just say this. Something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful is happening through me.
Something wonderful.
And it is from this awareness that as I am speaking this very word, we accept that all things are working together for our good. I feel it in my bones. I give thanks for it. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Help them, Stacy. Help them feel it.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Destiny has been fulfilled by you, oh God. My search is over, and I rest indeed. Every path has led to this moment. Every step I have taken has led me to this higher place. Everything I have ever done has led me to see God's holy face. My destiny been fulfilled by you, oh God. And my search is over, and I rest in thee. Past lives, they make no difference. Future lives, they don't concern me. My future and my past are rolled into this moment. In life is eternal. My life in God is eternal, and I am free forevermore. My search is over, and I rest in thee. I rest in thee.
I rest in thee. I want you to rest in the awareness of your oneness with the presence of God. I want you to lend your consciousness to these individuals who are standing in their receptivity to the prayer of wholeness and oneness.